Hello, my name is Curtis Chow, and this is my independent project for Period 2 VS.net. My project is a game called Haunted Freddy's. It's a adventure horror game, and this is on the background info. You are Matt Wilson, a boy forced by his friends to enter the recently closed Freddy's Pizzeria. This place was closed as a result of an automaton attacking a person there. Now you must travel inside in order to prove yourself towards your friends. Now you close and you play and it hides itself. Now you're here and this is you. You look like a Pokemon trainer, yes. And as you can see with me using the arrow keys, you can tell you can move. One of the things that's constantly reused, and just as much as it's used, there's an equivalent, which is these invisible walls and the solid walls that I'm about to touch. The solid walls were an extremely hard concept, especially on this form, due to how I have to use two separate sides of the form. Before I continue on, let me do this part. This is one of the password systems in the game that wasn't really used that much. So this was meant to be a tutorial for it. Here's the text box saying, the door has a lock. You will need to figure out the password to get through. Do it next. It says, look at the window. It may have a clue. And now here's the answer. It's the poster. The password is warning. So you go down here, type in warning exactly as it's spelled, and you hit enter. Now it says go back to original screen. This is how the passwords in this game will work. And it closes itself. And now I can go through. And as I was saying about the walls earlier, this form was especially difficult because I have to use two different sides. The code I was using was an if statement where if it interacts with a object or a picture box on the form, a reaction will occur. To make the walls work, I had it so that it would make the unit move, the avatar move the same units back as it's going forward. Though this one does work for, like, say for instance this wall, there are some irregularities such as this one where I just constantly get banged back and forth as a result. The reason this one was difficult was because there's two separate areas. In this statement saying go back this number of units when you touch this won't work for the other side of the wall, which needs the opposite type of command, where instead of adding to the value, it needs to subtract from the value. So I added another if statement that said that same thing while being under an if statement that said as long as you're in this area, which is actually a picture box with a background, the same background as the area on the other side, you'll face different results when you touch the walls. Now, when I go down all the way to here and interact with this invisible picture box here, I will go into a new form. Now, there's three doors here, and naturally I'm going to go through the one that's completely unique. And it says it's locked, so I can't go through. Excuse me. Now you're going up, so you go up and go through a door. It says the door behind you closes, and as you can see, the door behind you isn't there anymore, or it's closed. Now, let's try I have a slight advantage here. The top and the right doors are jump scares, and in the favor of my own mental consciousness, I'd rather not go running through them because it'd be scary for the me that's here right now and really painful in my ears. I'm going to use my knowledge and go straight through the left door, which is the right way. Here you'll find the key you need. You touch the desk, you get the key, and you can't really go through the desk. Now you have the key, and now you run through this door. And now the door's there. Now you go there, and it says the door is now unlocked, and you go back to where you were earlier. Now, with the key, you're able to go through there. Before I go through there, most players would probably say, oh, I want to go through that area right down there. Well, that area is a bad ending. Not one of the endings where you will face a jump scare, but one of those endings where you, the character, are in trouble. So, just like the other ones, this one has a lot of noise, and in my own natural preference for my ears, I'd rather not go through that noise. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the door. I have the key. It's gonna tell me the door. It's open. So I hit OK, and it says, my character says, "This is weird. I wonder what's weird." It's locked, the door. And oh, what's that? And why is it moving closer? And why are the lights going on and off? Oh god, it's a jump scare. And you'll constantly hear this sound repeated until the timer activates. And it says right now, game over. And now that form has closed in, this form has popped up. Excuse me again. And as you saw earlier, there was like 2 forms up there that are identical to this exact form. If I had more time, I think I probably would try to figure out how that bug came about, but in the preference of time, I'd rather not go through trouble. And also, this project didn't turn out as I wanted it to, because I got really bored with it. I just did not stay as interested. As you could see how small the password system was implemented, due to my own lack of imagination, creativity, and a lot of other stuff, factors such as schoolwork, my own personal laziness and procrastination all factor into as to why this project doesn't go from what could have been something relatively horrifying and lengthy to something rather short. So what popped up was a news article meant to be a way of an epilogue to tell you what happened to your character, your avatar, what happened after that jump scare. We don't even know if those jump scares kill you. Excuse me again, I have like a slight sore throat and it's making me cough a lot. So I'm going to read you the article. Okay. The new corpse found at Freddy's Pizzeria. Recently, the police received word that a young boy at the age of 12 entered Freddy's Pizzeria at night. The pizzeria had recently been closed due to one of the famous automatons attacking a child. The boy entered the closed-off area at around 11 o'clock p.m. Calls half an hour later by Mr. and Mrs. Cove, the police arrived to the scene and numerous men were sent in to find him. A total of 5 policemen went missing in the search effort. Numerous attempts were failures at contacting the men's side. The police chose to hold off the search till the next morning. The following morning, policemen raided the pizzeria. The policemen entered in squads of 5 who were told to stay together at all times. The squad spent the whole day searching through the building. With the researchers that came halfway into the day, they found the trail of both the policeman and the child who entered. And by the power of DNA, they were able to discover the missing child to be Matt Wilson. The trails all lead to the stage room where the automatons at the pizzeria stayed. Nothing was found at the assumed last location of the people. Under the belief that these automatons had performed the same crimes they had done before this incident, the murder of the people inside, the pizzeria was forcefully closed the following day. The families who lost their close ones in the police force all went to the funeral for their efforts. At the site, we got a few opinions over the incident. Most of the replies were the generic cries of sadness over loss. As a result, the home of the Wilsons was later attacked by some of the families that had lost someone. Therefore, we are not able to get a comment on the recent incidents. From the people in the area, most considered the family murderers, and groups of people that came to rent at their house with the same belief. Currently, policemen are trying to settle the problems and conflicts at the home while investigating Freddy's Pizzeria to find the missing bodies. And as you can see, this picture pops up and it's meant to be like 2 things. First of all, it's meant to be a picture to a news article I just read to you. A picture of Freddy's Pizzeria that may or I don't know when the news reporter probably took it. Maybe like he took it afterwards or beforehand, but it's a picture of it. Freddy's Pizzeria, and as you can see, there's a close button. Also, this is the same end screen as the game Five Nights at Freddy that this game parodies, or the story originates from. While this is a side story, this is the end screen of the game's original story that's way, way more complex than what this is. So when I hit the close button, that's my mouse is circling right now and pointing to, touching on the side, very, very weirdly. I'll hit the close button and it will pop up the main menu again. Now, as you see, there's the exit button, the background button, and all that jazz, just like before. And I can make them all spin with the power of the arrow keys. So essentially, that's my project. And excuse me again, cough. This is my project. This is what I've done with it. It's, to review, it's a survival horror game with, not really survival, but it's an adventure horror game with you, a character, moving around, a concept utilized a lot, and walls that were a real pain to figure out how to work, which took me like, a day or two, and there's a lot of stuff here that wasn't really fully used, ideas or concepts I had that I probably should have written down, and if I had spent more time on the project, probably should have been added. And just for the sake of, while I talk, I'm gonna show one of the bad endings I was talking about for the going to this door. This is probably one of the better endings made, well, appearance wise, and I hope you cover your ears because this might be loud. And ta-da! Oh, police car. Policeman, this is the police. You're under arrest. Comply and walk forward with your hands up. You. Well, crud. And now if you look at Form 10, it says game over. And look at all those police cars. You are screwed. And now all those windows close and your ears are perfectly safe and sound. So that's my project. It definitely isn't exactly what I wanted, but I did learn a lot. I did learn a lot of new concepts like how to control arrow keys, how resources work, like the pictures due to my mistakes, and how to do walls, which I am really glad about, and I hope no one else has to suffer through because that was a really, really big pain to work with. And overall, I think it might be fun for like someone who doesn't really have fun in the classroom when people want to just play something and they don't have anything else to do. So that's my project, and I hope you give me a good grade because I really, really don't like that concept of getting a B+, Mrs. Anwar. So this is Curtis Chow, Period 2, VS.net. This is my independent project, and I'm signing off.